Puritanism is a movement that began in the 1500s when England separated from the Catholic Church. Puritans wanted the Church of England to have no ties to Catholicism.
The Puritans believed God had chosen a few people, the elect, for salvation. The rest of humanity was condemned to eternal damnation.
Stop! The Puritans did not allow premarital relations and were very religiously intolerant.
Pay for your sins.
In their rigid enforcement of community standards, the New England's Puritan punishments often included the bilbo, the cleft stick, the brand, the ear crop, and the letter, scarlet, and otherwise. Puritan punishments also included whippings.
During this time period, there were many forms of literature, some more prominent than others, such as sermons, diaries, journals, poems, and letters.
Many early colonists, such as William Bradford and Anne Bradstreet, kept personal diaries and journals.
Poems during this period were rooted in religion and nature, also mentioned the struggles of living in the New World. They were meant to be didactic and not entertaining.
Letters were personal, public, or political, and almost always pious.
There were many authors in the Puritan movement who influenced literature themes and techniques. Anne Bradstreet is known for her plain Puritan and love themes, which are her major points of writing style. It also defines her persona. In Bradstreet's book, titled The Author to Her Book, the poet refers to her recently written book. In the first line of the poem, Bradstreet uses a metaphor in the phrase, ill-formed offspring. The poet uses irony in the following line, till snatched from thence by friends less wise than true. In Bradstreet's book, she uses an extended metaphor to compare the book to an ill-cared-for child, whose messy attire and imperfections represent its mother's failures in child-rearing.
Another author of the time period was Cotton Mather. Cotton Mather's magnum opus was Magnalia Christi Americana 1702, an ecclesiastical history of America from the founding of New England to his own time. His Manuductio and Ministerium 1726 was a handbook of advice for young graduates to the ministry, on doing good, on college love affairs, poetry, music, and on style.
William Bradford documented his experiences in a historic book titled Bradford's History of Plymouth Plantation, 1606 to 1646. Regarded as the most authoritative account of Pilgrims and the early years in Plymouth Colony, it details the Mayflower voyage and what happened when the passengers and crew arrived in America.
John Winthrop was an English Puritan and governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. A model of Christian charity was a sermon that focused on how the Puritan settlers should maintain a mutualistic relationship with each other and the colony in order to survive.
Mary Rowlandson wrote one of the first 17th century captivity narratives, in which she told of her capture by Native Americans, revealing both elements of Native American life and of Puritan Indian conflicts.
Here's a quote by Jonathan Edwards that exemplifies the overarching theme of the Puritan era. God is the highest good of the reasonable creature, and the enjoyment of him is the only happiness with which our souls can be satisfied. To go to heaven fully to enjoy God is infinitely better than the most pleasant accommodations here. Fathers and mothers, husbands, wives, or children, or the company of earthly friends are but shadows, but the enjoyment of God is the substance. These are but scattered beams, but God is the sun. These are but streams, but God is the fountain. These are but drops, but God is the ocean. Therefore,